Yes, but I have to prepare it as a PNG.
No, we don't want it. We just take it off. Just let it run live.
Okay, so a minute.
So we check that is live.
No, okay, we're just gonna put it live on here.
One moment. Falta el día 2, ¿no? Pero bueno.
It was sorted.
No. Falta el día 2, ¿no? Pero bueno.
Okay.
No me he hecho aquí.
Vamos a hacer con el mic.
We should say race day 2.
It's not right. Hold it in.
Falta el día 2, ¿no?
The mic.
Where do you plug it?
Into this one? No, there has to be
Is it open?
Because this is open. We're working on that mic. Hang on. Is recording on this mic or that mic? This is
If you see what is my problem. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. This is why I think this setup. I don't see it.
Yes, I will. Wait.
yeah. No, it's there. Let it go. I save it first.
Yeah, Polish. Yes, wait. Espera, me quito de aquí.
We don't need such high resolution on the screen if it makes it easier to.
But they don't read it. They don't see it.
No, but we don't
I
need.
am not able to
Change it.
to check it.
Okay. Well. So what are we trying to do? Get rid of the other microphone?
Yeah, kill this microphone. But I don't see how to do it.
Es que lo veo.
But it's under audio.
See, my problem is here, and I am not able to read it. I am not.
John to have a go at it for you?
Okay.
You have a go. Let John see if he can fix it. I'm just trying to close the microphone.
Yes.
This is
No, sí, sí, es el de aquí.
no. No.
Yeah. One, two, three, four. Are we transmitting?
Now it's on.
And do you have sound?
Now.
Okay, it's working.
Line will be opened in 10 minutes. The maximum start altitude is 2,500 meters. Pilots would be behind the started star line in 9 minutes.
Hello everybody and welcome to the second day, the second race of the qualifying Grand Prix La Cerdanya, Spain 2016. Okay, as you can see in the screen, the pilots are already flying. Okay, the towings have been well, except Hotel Felix Hutter, who has landed, but had no problems towing out again. Okay. So it's just a few minutes from the start, and we want to welcome Brian, who is here, and Angel, of course, that will also comment today's race.
Hi, everybody. We're only a few minutes away from the start now, and we are expecting everybody to be able to start well. But as Jaume said, Felix landed back. He's had a hard time climbing up. And he will be now certainly 2,000 meters. We can see he's not really climbing that well at the moment, but he is climbing. And he's got another 6 minutes yet to get the altitude for start. He's in quite a good place. And from where we are now, from where he is now, he should be able to come into the start position. The race today goes from here to Sort, and the Sort is to the west, and the first leg of the race is going to be about 60 kilometers from the start to Sort. And from Sort, they go down to the south towards Beaumont, and Beaumont is a ridge line to the southwest of Sailplane, you can see now on the screen. And that is 30 kilometers, and that should be quite an interesting leg because they have to come back out of the Sort Valley down to the south to Beaumont. And on the next leg is quite a long one, and they go 80 kilometers. They go 80 kilometers to Font-Romeu, which is in the eastern end of the Cerdanya Valley. And at Font-Romeu is a ski station on the French side of the valley, on the just on the north side above the area where we have the airfield of Santa Leocardi. From there we go to Belva, and Belva de la Cerdanya is a small town to the west of the airfield of Cerdanya, and from there it should be very straightforward to take Sailor de Gel and a control point in Prissera and come home. Total distance is 270 kilometers. We anticipate this will take 2 hours. Weather is good. We have good cumulus, high cloud base. You can see from the altitudes everybody's flying at 3,000 meters that we are expecting quite a fast race. So we'll look now down at the start and see what everybody's getting ready and getting together for the start. So Germain, it looks like we're going to have a good race today.
Yes, for sure. As you said about the today's task, as we talked just a couple of minutes before, we think that the most important decision will be after the second point, going to Puigcerdà, okay, it's 80 kilometers. This line goes straight through the valley, so they will have to decide if they go to the ridge to Caddy, okay, making some little risk, or go to north to a more secure way, but longer way. So it will be a thing that we have to be very calm of it.
And we're just going to check that we're getting good audio. And once we've checked that, we'll be ready for the start situation. You can enjoy the race. We will try to keep you up to date with where everybody is. You can see that we've solved most of the technical problems we had yesterday. And we have everybody's tracker working well, so we have good information. But most important, our good friend Angel here has managed to put the task on the screen. So now we can see where they're supposed to go.
Thanks.
The green line you can see is the start gate. It's a maximum start altitude of 2,500 meters and a maximum start speed of 170 kilometers an hour. And as they're going into wind, it shouldn't be a problem to keep below that maximum speed. In the last few moments before they start, they're not allowed to turn to the right in the start sector. And everybody must be behind the start line. So we can see that Mike Delta and Yankee Oscar are a little bit late in coming behind the start line. Maybe they don't fully understand the rules. So if you can talk us through the start now, please, German, and we'll see what happens when they get going.
Okay, well, the first thing is, so Felix Hotel went down. He's trying as fast as he can to get to the start maximum altitude. I don't know if he will be able of that. And the most important thing, part of it is, as you can see, the top pilots are higher than the maximum altitude they can be to start. So we think we're taking care of each other, making what position is everybody. And of course, they will have a very fantastic push down to get out of the line.
Yeah, it's always fun to watch where people go. We can see that Billy in Lima Echo, he seems to be doing his own thing down to the south there. He's not as high as the others, but he's plenty high enough to come through the start. I suspect he'll want to be one of the later gliders, one of the back gliders when they start, so he can see what everybody else is doing. Quite a lot of tactics at this point, because the top pilots all want to start very quickly and they want to be together. They don't want anybody to get an advantage. But the pilots who are not so fast, they will get a better picture of what's happening if they can be behind the top pilots and they can see which way they're going. So we're coming now into the start line opening, and we have only a few moments to run now. Let's check the time here. Hey, we've got 1 minute to go. So it's only less than 1 minute to go now to start. We can see most people are coming together. Charlie Tango is 2,900 meters. Everybody is at good altitude. They must only turn to the left before the start. And once they are approaching the start line, they will use their air brakes to descend down to the maximum height. And we can see now, that they're just coming in to run to the start. Philippe Depeche thinks it's going to be better on the north end of the line there. I suspect the better place to start will be the north end of the line. And we just have a look at the direction of the first track. And you'll see that it goes straight across to the mountain of Caravaca. So when they start, they'll be making almost on track, a little bit to the right, to get onto the western face of Caravaca to climb up. Coming back, Coming back now to look in a little bit closer to the start, and we should see everybody coming together, Jeremy.
Okay, yes, as you said, Jean-François Billy has came with the other pilots. He's there, okay, and Charlie Tango and Judith Hodel are at the north, trying making maybe what Brian is doing, to take in the less distance to the first possible thermal triggers, and the only pilot that we see is out of the zone for starting is Victor Lima, okay, who is Jorge Arias with his new Ventus 2, okay. He had problems yesterday with the flan. You didn't see him in the tracker screen, but he said this morning that he has fixed it and already with the leaking problems, okay. We don't know why he's on the left side. Maybe he knows that pilots are going to start later than the gate opens, but he's coming with them. Now, it seems they are all joining together to the center, so we think we will be ready in just a couple of minutes. They are going down. You can see the altitude. They are spending its altitude, so in just 1 or 2 minutes, we will see them crossing the start line.
It looks like Hoke is going to get himself a penalty today.
Yeah, it seems so. But well, there was a little discussion yesterday because had problems with his logger and couldn't send just the whole file. His logger cut the flight in 3 locks difference, so it couldn't make any point. Okay.
So just to recap on the standings, the winner of yesterday is leading overall, which is Louis, and Louis is flying in Mike Delta. So we have to keep our eye on Mike Delta. Echo Yankee, Christophe Rouche was second yesterday, and Mike Young in 5-7 was third. I think we will see a very fierce competition between them. Coming down in the altitude now, down to the maximum altitude to start. Everybody's using their air brakes to get into position. And once they are in position and they hear the countdown for the line, then they will start to run in. We can see them running in now. Let's see who gets across the line first. And we've got Echo Yankee and 5-7 and Charlie Tango all running together.
Yes, and it seems that Felix Hotel finally
It's good because he landed back, he took a launch, and he probably never thought that he would get back in a position to start with everybody. So it puts him now in very positive mood. He's thinking very positively that he's happy to be with everybody else. It's a really good start. Everybody's moving together. We've lost Louis, but I'm sure he'll come back in a moment. Bravo 2 is a little behind, but okay, but he'll be happy to be able to see what they're doing. He's also not so high. You can see that the more experienced Grand Prix pilots start absolutely at maximum height, just below 2,500. Some of the other guys seem to have overdone the height loss, and they're starting quite a bit lower, 2,300 meters.
Yes, but some, for example, the Spanish pilots were at the limit of the altitude, so maybe they have started not as fast as they could because they couldn't change its altitude by speed. Anyway, the last one is Bravo 2, Discussies with Gorka Doyen, okay, with a less powerful glider, but he knows very well the mountains, as we told yesterday. So we will see what we have him with performance, less performance glider.
We're just trying to get the distance up here, just so you can see that during the course of the race, we'll be able to show you the distance they've got to go to the next turning point. And That's it. And if we can, okay, we seem to be having trouble with that. That's the distance to the goal. So maybe if we just have a look at that. Kilometers to go. That's on the race. That's assuming they've started, but actually we've got them down as having not started. So we've got some sort of issue there with the start. So let's see, although the start line has disappeared, it seems that they've started. Maybe the start height is set wrong in the software. So let's have a look at the first leg. And we want to try to look at where they're going to go on the first leg. Now we have a good, and they're going to come straight onto, you can see the north-south valley ahead of them with the valley of Caravaca, the mountain of Caravaca, and they will come right onto that mountain and take a run along the front of that mountain to climb up a little bit more. I doubt very much that they will stay exactly on track. They've got to go to the right of it, don't you think?
Yes, and we are seeing where they are going through over the mountain, and at the right hand you can see two little valleys. Okay, and at the second there is usually a very powerful thermal. So we will see if they know it or if they try to. We have little problems right now with the trackers. Just one moment, please.
Yeah, it looks like we're getting them back again here, Jermaine. We just have to sit now and watch them going. And it was quite a good day yesterday, but it was very, very windy. And quite a few of the guys didn't manage to get round, didn't manage to start very well, and didn't manage to get to the first turning point. It was so windy in the valley that the thermals were really broken up. And those lesser experienced competition pilots in the competition didn't really get into the first good zone. And because of that, they got stuck with the wind strength. We had a good 30 knots of wind here yesterday. So let's have a little closer look at what they're doing as they come onto the mountain of Caravaca. And we can see that the Mike Young is in the lead. He's going for it today. He'll be making Louis and Christophe work hard, and he'll be not hanging around at all. I think that he's decided that the only way to win the day in this type of racing is from in the front, and he's leading the way there. And we probably, if we look closely at what Mike's doing, and we can focus on him coming onto the hillside, and then we'll see the others joining him. And he's also the lowest person there. So he's lost quite a lot of altitude running onto the mountain here at Caravaca.
And well, we will see now that for sure they are going to take this thermal. So we will see if they are going all there, and maybe Mike, that's why he knows and will take it.
Yeah, and we should be able to see what's going to happen. I think he must be trying to run to the cumulus in front of the ridge here, because he's not stopping to climb on the ridge, and he's probably spotted cumulus out in front. We've got his vario on the bottom of the screen, you can see, and we can see that the moment he's not really climbing. But we should come into it now. He's actually flying in lift. He's gone up a little bit in the last moment or two. And we want to see if the other guys behind him are running onto the mountain. Or if they're just following where Mike's going. We're all coming in now. And they are probably going to come a little bit to the right. Mike's not losing altitude, he's come back up a little bit. We see Christoph still at 2,300, and he's in the lead of the other pack. He's in the lead of the second group, and they will almost certainly follow Christoph. And if he turns to the right and goes along the mountain, that's where they'll all go. If he goes straight on and follows Mike, you'll be pretty sure that's where they'll all go.
Yeah. As you can see, they are taking the north route. Okay. And yesterday proved to be the most clever decision for everybody who went there. And although there were also cloud streets to the south, we know for sure that nobody wanted the first day to be out of the whole race. So everybody went in group at first, not trying something different. Okay. So together today we will see what they do. We can see Mike is beginning to turn. Okay, maybe we could see the barrier and who claims better, because for sure they are all going to meet at 1 or 2 thermals in this area.
Yeah, Mike's not really climbing very well there, and Echo Yankee is doing a little bit better with Christoph going along the front of the hill. The Felix is there with them. He'll be a happy boy at the moment. And Jorge is there with them. And we're pretty sure that Louis will be also in there with them as well. And we can see that they've all got positive area. They're all climbing as they go. And as they're flying along with Juliet Hotel, Christoph's decided to make a turn. And Mike is still not climbing all that well. He's climbed a little bit, but he's not really doing very well. I can't actually imagine why he went straight there. Maybe he's thought that the cumulus was much better than the lift on the hill.
Yes, because it's that part is mostly in the shade of the mountain because of the wind, and we can see that most of the pilots have tried going through the ridge, okay, and looking for that thermal, and we will see what happens right now. Echo Yankee Hotel. It seems they haven't found the thermal they were looking for, so they have jumped barely to the other part of the valley without turning. Okay, so it doesn't work for them. Although we can see Aldo and Sierra 5 Silveira de la Rosa, who have beginning to turn. So we will see if their decision is good. Okay. Oh, Echo Yankee is turning back. Is he?
No, he's just going to climb there.
He's going to climb there. Oh, it seems. It was a big circle, so it seemed that he was coming back.
Well, we can see on the bottom of the screen, Echo Yankee's climbing at about 1.5 meters there. Now, Mike's gone on. Now, this is very interesting because what he's flying into now is a high ground and a high ridge. He's flying into a ridge line at the bottom of the Monteril mountain, and we will see if he gets over it, because he's only just at the same height now as that mountain. And before he can climb over there, he needs to get some more height. There are good cumulus. There are good markers where the lift is, so he's not flying completely blind. He's definitely going out on his own today. He's really having a go for it. The other guys, look, they're all staying back and waiting for Christoph and for Louis to make the running here.
Okay, it seems to be a little more in the middle of the valley, and Mike is going directly to the zone where we talk about the very powerful thermal. We will see if he arrives with altitude enough to take it. Okay, we will take a look right now. He's turning right. Sorry, he's turning left. Okay, maybe he's trying something or just going through over the ridge.
Yeah, he's only 1,900 meters. That puts him only 900 meters above the bottom of the valley. Mike's going to be feeling a bit sweaty now because he's not in a very good place there. And his effort to break away doesn't seem to have worked at all. Well, let's see. It's a long way to go yet. It's quite a big race, so we'll have to see what happens. He's low now, which means that he's probably lost his tracker information, and he's going to have to come out a little bit from the mountain in order to climb. Meanwhile, Christoph is up at 2,700 meters, and 2,800, and most of the other guys seem to be climbing pretty well along with him.
Yeah, for sure that we have lost the signal also of Luis Bordelais, but for sure he's with Christophe Rouge. Okay, yesterday they flew together, and my young guy, and they are one of the most the better positioned candidates for trying to reach the two qualifying places for the final.
Mike's climbing now. He's not climbing brilliantly, but he is climbing. He's got 1.8 meters. We can see that Christoph's fat. He's really high there. He's got 3 meters, and he's going to be very pleased with himself in a moment when he passes overhead. I doubt very much that Mike's movement here will have been beneficial. We can see he's attracted Gorke and Billy to come his way. That's probably not going to please him, because he would much rather see Louis and Christophe join his thermal than Billy and Gorke.
Okay, for sure. We can see also that 2 more pilots have left that thermal. It was Victor Lima with Jorge Ares and Bravo 2 with Gorka Duayen. Okay, they are going up a little. We see now Bravo 2 has a stop to circle, and for sure Victor Lima will do it. Okay, now they are leaving the thermal. Okay.
And Billy is a bit low. Yeah, he's also not doing so well. Mike hasn't really climbed that much. He's climbed, but he's not climbed that much. But if you look at the track that they're taking with Victor Lima and Yankee Oscar, and that is John Gatfield, and Victor Lima is Hockey, isn't it? Yeah. They actually are heading into really high ground, and they're only just high enough. They've got to run the edge of the Sierra just on the north side of the valley, and it's a blind valley. It doesn't go anywhere. You need to be at 2,500 meters or more when you come to the end of that valley to get out and to get over into the next valley.
Yes, it's important if you ever stop to take profit of the ridge, you're lower. Not sometimes you have to be very careful, because as Brian said, many of these valleys, going to the north, they get very narrow. So it could be difficult to get out of there, to make a turn or something like this, but for sure it's not the situation. But you have to be very careful with this.
So if we can just anticipate a little what's going to happen here, I think Eke Yankee is high enough to go over the next ridge line. Yankee Oscar is, he's probably high enough also to go over the ridge line. But you can see what's happening. Mike's got stuck on the corner. He has to go, if he wants to get in front of it, where it's almost certainly going to be better, he's got to fly all the way around the south spur. And he's below the top at this point. He's going to find it quite tough now. It's going to be quite turbulent. Although there will be some thermals, there will be some energy. He's not in a bad place. He's not in a really good place. Where Echo Yankee is about to jump over the ridge, and we'll see him be able to go very fast now and in very good energy along the front of the mountain of Montreal. It's really spreading out quickly.
Yes, yes. As you said, Mike is maybe having little trouble to go out again, and he has lost some distance from the head of the race. We will see what will happen. Okay, and even though where you can see the ridge they are arriving has no forests, a lot of rocks, so it usually works very well and faced to the sun, but it goes better in the afternoon when the sun has a better angle with the ridge. Okay, but anyway, it usually works.
There's a lot of snow where they are now. The top of Montreal is still snow covered, but it has really nice slopes. And Echo Yankee will be flying in really good lift. Christophe and John Gatfield, and you can be sure that Louis is there with them. They will be flying in really good lift along this area here. And they should be able to go nearly all the way now to the Lorry Mountain without having to worry too much about climbing. And we should look at the route that they're going to take now along to the west.
Yes, and as you can see at the front, for sure, as Brian said, are the two French pilots, but there is it's another group of competitors. With Yankee Oscar, it's John Gatfield after him and 4 more. So for sure, they will take profit of flying together and finding the best thermals in the area, okay?
On the route now to the turning point, the next big point is the crossing of the Andorra Valley. The Andorra Valley runs from the south to the north, from the turning point you can see at Seu d'Urgell. And when they cross this valley, they come onto the ridge line of the Roc Roy, which runs from east to west. And this bridge line should give good convergence and good lift all the way along. And that will allow them to fly all the way to the Lorry Mountain, maybe do a few turns just to be sure. They'll top up now to 2,800, 2,900 before they leave. The mountain at the Lorry is 2,400 meters, just before the turning point. And there is a valley on the north side of it, which they could fly around through that valley, but it's not such a good idea because it means they have to fly a lot further to come to the turning point. If they come to the left of track, there's a very high ridge which runs down to the Col Canto, and that's about 2,000 meters, 1,900 meters. So it means that you need to arrive at the mountain of the Lorry really with enough height to clear it, which is going to be at least 2,300, 2,400 meters. They could, and Echo Yankee seems to be taking a more northerly route, which is more into Andorra, where the mountains are a little higher, and it may be there's a good line of cumulus on the north side.
Yes, today the forecast was having less wind than yesterday, and the first hour it seems to, but just 1 hour before the starting of the dose, it increased a little. So the prediction was there wasn't going to be any ridge, but we will see. Anyway, the forecast at this altitude between 700 and 800 millibars, the wind even though decreases. So we will see what happens.
Echo Yankee's crossing the Andorra Valley now. He's going to go past yesterday's turning point at the L-shaped mountain just above him. There's a lovely antenna on the top of this. It's the turning point in Andorra. He's actually flying in Andorra now, and he's a good altitude. Oh, we've got Louis back, and Louis is there with him. Where's Mike? Can we see Mike Delta's location? He should be with Echo Yankee, and they are 2,800 meters, and Felix is with them. Oh, Felix is having a good day, and he's up there at 2,800 meters as well. Philip is now leaving the rock, which is just on a place called Ramonet, which is about to cross the Andorra Valley, and he's got a good altitude there. And that altitude means that he will go straight to the lorry. He should be able to clear the lorry from that altitude.
Yes, in general, to jump the Andorra Valley, the important thing is go as north as your height permits you, allows you, okay? So in this task, the first leg has a good thing that it doesn't go right through the middle of the valley. You can go to the north, and with his altitude, okay, we know for sure that they will be able to do it. My Yang is a little bit lower, so we will know if he will be able to do that.
Yeah, Mike's got to get back up there with them. He's got to get some altitude to cross. He can't carry on at that height. The place to climb is where they are now. Louis, he's leaving the Montreal Ramonet area at 2,800. And we can see that Christophe has still got a good altitude, but he's gone well to the north. And he's gone well to the north. And we can see that when in front of him now are quite a lot higher mountains.